Welcome, everyone, to a journey into one of Charles Dickens' most cherished masterpieces. Asterisk, the life story of David Copperfield. Asterisk, for over a century, this novel has captivated readers with its sweeping tale of a young boy's journey from a life of hardship to one of triumph. It's a story about resilience, the friends who shape us, the loves that define us, and the long, winding road to finding our true selves. Told from David's own perspective, it's as if Dickens himself is speaking directly to us. So, let's settle in and travel back to Victorian England, where a young hero is about to begin his extraordinary story. David Copperfield is born in a quiet corner of England, in a cozy little house called the Rookery. He never meets his father, who passed away just before his birth, leaving his gentle mother, Clara, to raise him with the help of their fiercely loyal housekeeper, Peggotty. For a few short years, David's world is a sanctuary of love and warmth. But that peace is shattered when his mother meets the cold and imposing Mr. Murdstone. At first, Murdstone's polite exterior is deceiving, but soon, his true, cruel nature begins to cast a dark shadow over their happy home. When Mr. Murdstone marries Clara, their home transforms into a place of fear. He and his equally rigid sister, Miss Murdstone, ruled the house with an iron fist, imposing a regime of cold, hard discipline. Young David, desperate to please, finds his gentle spirit crushed under their constant scrutiny. One day, during a lesson, Mr. Murdstone's cruelty pushes David too far. When he's beaten for a simple mistake, David instinctively bites his hand. The punishment is swift and severe. He is sent away to Salem House, a grim boarding school run by the tyrannical Mr. There, amid the daily humiliations, David finds glimmers of light in two new friends, the charming, popular James Steerforth, and the kind, ever-optimistic Tommy. David's time at Salem House is cut short by devastating news. He returns home to discover that his mother, her spirit broken by the Murdstone's cruelty, has passed away. The Rookery is no longer a home, but a cold, empty shell. With his mother gone, David is utterly alone. Mr. Murdstone wastes no time in sending him off to London to work in a grimy wine-bottling warehouse. It's a bleak and lonely existence for a boy who should be in school, not toiling away in the dark. In the sprawling, dirty city of London, David spends his days washing bottles, feeling lost and forgotten. His only comfort comes from the eccentric but kind-hearted Micawber family. Mr. Micawber, a man of grand words but empty pockets, is always certain that something will turn up, even as debt collectors knock at his door. The Micawbers offer David a sense of family, but their own financial troubles soon force them to flee London. Faced with being left behind, David makes a bold decision. He scrapes together his few pennies and sets off on a desperate 100-mile journey to find his only living relative, his great-aunt, Betsy Trotwood, who lives in Dover. The journey is an ordeal. Robbed, hungry, and barefoot, David finally stumbles to his aunt's cottage, a shadow of his former self. Aunt Betsy is initially taken aback by the ragged boy on her doorstep, but upon learning he is her nephew, her tough exterior melts away. She takes him in, offering him the first real safety and love he has known in years. With her eccentric but good-natured friend, Mr. Dick, they form an unconventional but loving family. Aunt Betsy gives David a fresh start, sending him to a respectable school in Canterbury. He finds a home there with the kind lawyer, Mr. Wickfield, and befriends his gentle, wise daughter, Agnes, who will become his guiding star. However, a shadow lurks in Mr. Wickfield's office. Uriah Heep? A clerk who constantly proclaims his own humbleness, Uriah is a master of deceit. Behind his false modesty lies a snake-like ambition to gain power. Slowly and methodically, he begins to manipulate the aging Mr. Wickfield, weaving a web of lies to take control of his business. David, now a young man, senses Uriah's villainy but doesn't yet understand the depths of his treachery. It is during this time, inspired by his new life and education, that David discovers his true calling. He will become a writer. As David enters adulthood, his path once again crosses with his old schoolmate, James, now a handsome, charismatic man from a wealthy family. Steerforth's charm is undeniable. David, still admiring him, introduces him to Peggotty's family, who live in a cozy house made from an overturned boat by the sea. There, they meet little Emily, a beautiful young girl who dreams of a life beyond her humble beginnings. Tragically, she is dazzled by Steerforth, who callously persuades her to run away with him, shattering her family's hearts and her own reputation. David is left devastated, caught between his loyalty to his old friend and his sorrow for the ruin Steerforth has caused. Later, in a cruel twist of fate, a violent storm crashes upon the coast. Ham, Emily's heartbroken fiancé, dies trying to rescue sailors from a shipwreck, and on that same ship is Steerforth, who also drowns. Now a young professional in London, David falls head over heels for the beautiful but naive Dora. They marry, and their life together is filled with affection, but it's clear they are mismatched. Dora, whom David calls his child wife, is sweet and loving, but struggles with the practicalities of running a home. She is a flower too fragile for the real world. David loves her dearly, but their marriage is more play than partnership. Tragically, Dora's delicate health fails, and she passes away, leaving David heartbroken and adrift once more. Overwhelmed by grief, he leaves England and travels abroad, searching for purpose in his shattered life. During his travels, David reflects on his past losses, the friendships, the mistakes. He realizes that through every storm, one person has been his constant anchor, Agnes Wick. She was always his quiet supporter, his moral compass, his truest friend. When he returns to England, he finds that the wicked Uriah Heep has finally been exposed. In a surprising turn, it is Mr. Micawber who, finding a moment of courage, reveals Uriah's massive fraud, restoring Mr. Wickfield's fortune and honor. With the shadows of the past cleared, David finally understands his own heart. He confesses his deep, enduring love for Agnes, and she reveals that she has secretly loved him all along. They marry, building a life founded on true partnership, respect, and deep affection, the life David had always yearned for. Years later, David, now a successful and celebrated author, looks back on his long journey. He sees how every person, every joy, and every sorrow shaped him into the man he became. His gentle mother, loyal Peggotty, flawed Steerforth, kind Traddles, tragic Dora, formidable Aunt Betsy, and his good angel Agnes all live on in his memory and in the stories he tells. David Copperfield's life is a powerful reminder that even from the darkest beginnings, a life of purpose, love, and courage can be forged. We are all the heroes of our own lives. Thank you for joining me on this journey through one of literature's greatest tales. If you enjoyed this story, please show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing for more classic stories brought to life. Until next time, may you find the courage to write your own wonderful story.